Hi guys, and welcome back to Mums and Melanin. I'm Iola.
I'm Debbie.
I'm Takoni.
And I'm Tugumba.
Before we go any further, may I just ask you to press pause, hit the subscribe button, click the bell. Guys, we're trying to get to 500 subscribers ASAP, so help us get there. Let's build this community. Alrighty, so today we're going to be talking about what our opinions are with regards to showing love in front of our children or even having arguments in front of our children, misunderstanding. Do we do it? Is it a no? What's our thoughts?
So for me, okay, with regards to showing love, I'm here for it. Like, I want my kids to see that actually they come from a loving home. So I'm very like playful, like, hey, like, you know, like, why not? Do you know, like, let it be known that they've come from a loving environment. Eventually, they're gonna ask me how was I made. Remember that time when I kissed your head? You know, like, it's for me. I'm here for it within reason. I'm not gonna be like, whoa, like I'm not. There's no.
It should be appropriate.
It's appropriate, yeah, exactly for the age. Because I'll kiss my son. Okay, daddy can get kissed. Sometimes I might be like, daddy, kiss, kiss daddy. Well, you know, arguing. It's one of those things that sometimes can't be avoided, especially like when it's a discussion that quickly turns a bit, and the kids are there. I've done it. I'm sure it's been done. Do I like it? No. Do I try to avoid it? Yes. Have I fallen and done it in front of the kids? Yeah. But it's one of them ones that I'm very much mindful of the fact that if we argue in front of them, we also need to make up in front of them. Because they need to see that arguing is a part of life. You're going to come across people that you may not necessarily gel with, whether that's at work or at school, but you need to be able to resolve. So, for example, me and Charles had an argument one time, and it was always over something very petty, as it is. But Isaiah was there, and Isaiah was like, no, daddy, don't do that. And I was just like, oh my God. You know, like when they think they're being helpful. Daddy's being naughty. And then obviously, his dad's already annoyed and he's like, what? He's like, mommy's being naughty too. But I'm like, okay, now we've argued in front of him and he's even felt like, okay, I need to speak. We now need to like make up and apologize in front of him. So I was very mindful of the fact that regardless of how I'm feeling, even if I'm not going to talk to you again after we've resolved in front of the kids, let's just make sure we do it in front of the kids. And then I now have to speak to Isaiah and be like, okay, so what did you see? Like, oh, mommy and daddy were shouting at each other. Okay, but the same way you have arguments with your friends in school and you make up and you play with each other afterwards, adults, they argue as well. Sometimes we don't always have the same ideas or same thoughts, and then we might argue, but we make up and we're friends afterwards. So that's my stance on it. Like, sometimes it's unavoidable, but as long as you're able to resolve in front of the children and then explain that it's a part of life, it's gonna happen, but it's okay to say sorry. If you've done something wrong, you say sorry. Or if someone's hurt your feelings, you explain to them, I didn't like what you did. So my hope is that with what they see, that he's able to take it, and the mother, of course, they're able to take it and be like, I didn't like what you did, even if you argued about it. As a result, this is how I feel. Okay, that's how you feel. Okay, fine, no problem, I'm sorry. And move on and be done with it. You don't necessarily have to be friends after the fact, but you've resolved it and moved on. So that's my stance on arguing and showing love in front of the kids. Showing love. You know,
How about you?
everybody needs love.
Yeah, I agree in terms of showing love in front of the kids. For me, my kids get jealous. Sienna first one. Zeke, he started picking up. As I don't care. But Sienna will get jealous and be like, oh, she'll come in between us and try and hug, or be like, no, you know, like just jealous. Just wanting to be part of that. But yeah, so showing love in front of the kids, 100% for it. Arguing, the same kind of thing with what you're saying, Debbie, in terms of it's hard to avoid it sometimes where a conversation is happening and it quickly escalates into, or even certain things that can be seen as undermining. You know, when you're showing your child something and he's like, no, actually it's this way, and you're like, actually no, it's this way. It happens a lot, well, especially when we're teaching Sienna, it happens a lot. Like, no, actually my method of doing the maths equation. So we have that type of like back and forth, but I definitely agree in terms of like apologizing in front of the kids, but it's not something I consciously do. But then to show them that everything's okay, like mommy and daddy is okay, we kind of like show that, rather than like, I've never sat down with any of the kids to say, oh look, this is what happened, which is a good point, a good thing to do, because sometimes it's even getting their understanding of what's actually happened. But I think the kids kind of like, they clock that, okay, mommy and daddy are fine. Sometimes Sienna might ask. Sienna's more intuitive. She picks up on emotions, picks up on like behaviors even. So she might say, oh, mummy, what happened earlier? She might ask me, and then I'll say, I'll kind of talk her through and explain what happened. But otherwise, I don't generally explain, like pull them aside, say, look, what happened. But yeah, man, that's it really. It's hard to balance with trying to avoid that they see it. Sometimes you have to be really conscious in the argument that actually, can we leave this till later? Yeah. Actually, can we take this out of the room? And actually approach it that way. I guess kids, like when they're older, they'll hear. So they know that mommy and daddy are taking it out of the room. They know that we're going to talk about it later. So they still sense that there's something going on, but at least it's not full on, because you don't know how these arguments can really escalate into shouting, this and that. So it's trying to make sure that they're not actually visualizing and seeing it happening.
No, that makes sense. Affection again, I'm all for it. My sons are quite young, so like this girl like they want. What's going on? No, Roman wants to be his dad, Judah wants to be his older brother Roman. Okay. So it's like what one does, the whole of them will follow. So like there was a time I think Francis slapped my bum and Roman was trying to chase me down to slap my bum, and it's like no, and Francis had to follow and be like no, you can't. Honestly, he's like, hey, you started the game there. You can slap the bum and run over and laugh. Just then, so I think it's healthy. I think it's nice. The hope is that they have loving relationships, isn't it? So I think it's nice to kind of emulate that. Obviously within reason, because as I said, like you don't want them to kind of slap them. And I think I try and be to be honest, I'm very affectionate with the boys. Like it's just how I am, and I think Francis is quite. I told you, kissing on the lips. Like, he's quite affectionate with them too, and. More times when I take Roman places, they're always like, Roman's so affectionate. He loves a cuddle, he loves a hug. Like he likes all of those kind of things. Just and even as a boy, and it's just how we are at home, isn't it? So he's kind of taken outside, and I think it's nice. I think it works well for him, isn't it? I guess as he's older, he'll understand boundaries and all that. With arguing, like I don't know, I can't think to like big arguments. In front of the kids. They're so young, I don't think they'd even notice anyway. Like, I don't think they'd even really sort of pay attention. I'm more of a person, if like, I'll just leave it, it's alright, like, just we can sort it out later. I think now, especially like how I am now, there's nothing that deep that we need to kind of start all of that in a moment. It's alright, it's actually not that deep. Like, we'll just leave it, like, and then later on we can sort of resolve it. I'm trying to think, like, maybe something will come to mind later, but I think more times one of us will normally fall back, so it's just not that. But again, that's how I am. When we're talking, I like peace. I just don't want it. Like, it's just not that deep. Like, it's not actually that deep. Like, nothing is that. Because again, maybe it's because before we had kids, we've had so many arguments. Do you understand? We've had so many arguments. And arguments over like dumb stuff, like even hypothetical scenarios. That's so funny. Trust me. And then like there's nothing. Arguments about other people's lives. Just arguments and you just realise it's actually not that deep. Like, let's just stay in a place of being happy. Let's just leave it as that. Like, so I think that's what I try to be. Obviously, it's never perfect in it, but I like Debbie's point. I think if there are big arguments, it's worth talking to the kids because you don't know what they're gonna pick up on and take out of it. And it's true, it is natural. Do you understand? People aren't always gonna agree, but does it change the fact that you love each other? No, exactly. Siblings argue. Does it change the fact? No. So I think if something big like that's happened, as the boys get older, it's definitely an approach I would say.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I think I'm with all of you. Affection to a degree, of course. And I think sometimes you just got to be careful with the kind of child you have. Like, some kids are just a lot more alert with affection than others. Do you know what I mean? And you don't want them to go to school trying to go and kiss some girl or whatever. Do you know? So I do have these things in my mind. Maybe it's just me, because this one's even telling me the other day that these little children, like, they have like, what was it that they have attraction.
You were saying.
Maybe we'll talk about this in another video, but I still find this very hard to accept.
But anyway. I sent you video evidence.
Yeah, what was the video?
What was it?
Judah was.
Judah's all like.
trying to kiss her.
Loved her.
A lot.
It's not even two.
As in, she moved her hand and he still was like, okay, I'll go for your mouth. Anyway, so I do think within reason, and I would always do what I can do to Micaiah. So like, I might give Sadiq a peck or whatever, some stuff I do to Micaiah anyways, or cuddles. I think Micaiah does have moments where he will come and sit. He gets a bit jealous, but he wouldn't sit with us.
Okay.
He'd want me to hug him and then Dad to hug him. So it's like, I must get my own from both of you. Not that we're all going to do this family cuddle. Like, no, mummy, I need a cuddle. Do you know what I mean? And then when it's done, one by one. So I don't know. Affection, I'm definitely here for it within balance. I think arguing, again, I don't remember ever having like a big argument in front of him. And I just don't think, I think it's something I'll be quite conscious of. I don't think I'm someone who lives thinking I'll never argue in front of my child, but I think it's just something I'm conscious of when he's there. Do you know what I mean? Just because children, like, you know, you don't really know how they understand things, and even how they may explain it to you in that moment may not be necessarily the entirety of how they've understood that situation. Do you understand? And I think generally anyway, it's probably similar to you guys, when if anything's getting too heated, someone will just, do you know what I mean? If it's because they just think, let me shut my mouth because I'm going to offend you. I don't know, but whatever reason, someone will just be like, do you know what, actually, I'm going to let it go for now. Because you just know when you're getting irritated, you know when it's going to get a bit unnecessarily intense, and nothing's going to get resolved in that type of environment. So we're quite used to just dropping it and picking up later. But I think if I ever had like a really, really big bust up or a really big situation or argument or whatever, I think I would want to speak to the child just so the child doesn't, because you know children, number one, you want to know what they're thinking. Number two, they could just go to school tomorrow and be like, my mummy and my daddy, they had a big fight, and it might have been an argument, but then what someone else understands to be a fight, next minute someone's looking into your life. You know children, you know what I mean, they're interested, they're very free. So the fact that it could just go out of hand so quickly, I wouldn't even want to risk that. So I think for that alone is a good reason to sit a child down and have that conversation.
The fact that you said that even happened to me.
Really?
This is why I think that was the moment that I realised that actually I have to start speaking to Isaiah if me and see, because there was a period, I think maybe, I don't know what was happening, there was a period that any little thing and it was and you know, like, and I was very conscious that we're in this period of and as I think I remember telling you, as I went to nursery, and then the teacher, I went to go and pick him up, she was like, Mum, when
I start, I was like, Mum,
Isaiah said that you and Daddy had an argument and you were very upset. Is everything alright?
That is so good.
Bearing in mind, he was like, what, all of 2.5, 3 years old?
Wow.
So you know, like,
this is what I'm
very
saying.
forward. So I looked at her, and like, before I could even open my mouth, I'd already started crying. Because, and not even because, like,
even that cry is
just
dangerous.
the fact, I couldn't articulate how my heart felt.
Yeah.
So for me,
you were shocked, I guess.
Of course.
It's a shock.
Even the fact that he carried that to nursery.
I wasn't embarrassed. I didn't feel any of those emotions.
Not shocked.
I just felt like, oh my gosh, my son.
Exactly.
That's it. Like, and I was like, you know what? It's fine. There wasn't an issue. But the fact that he's picked up on this and he said it very freely, like, but I didn't speak to my son after it happened. In my head, I've spoken to Kiana. Do you understand? He's free. I'm not thinking but then this is the mistake that we make as parents. We think they're very young. They probably don't even notice anyway. What do we need? And that's why with everything, even like I think I say to you, when you're leaving, have you told the boys that you're going out? Like, and this is something my mum's always said to me, like, talk to your children. It doesn't matter how old they are. They're 1 year old. Okay, mummy's going out now. Back to, even if they're not really taking in what you're saying, you're talking to them. So it's something that they're hearing in their head,
and it becomes
So every time they go out,
okay,
mummy's going out now. So with that situation, that was kind of the turning point for me. That actually, with every little thing, even if I can't control like that, I can't say I'm never going to argue in front of him again, because obviously we have. But me speaking to him and saying, you know what, Mummy was angry, Daddy was angry. It's fine, we're friends now, innit? Tell him we're friends now. And even, but see, he takes longer to come down than at me. My anger is fake. My anger is like,
it's not fake,
and then I'm just like, whatever, man. But his one is, and then he's there for a while, like. So then I'll just be like, come on, man. I don't want to talk to nobody, man. And I'm just like, please, man. Oh, then I have to start doing fake pretend. Okay. But because I'm very mindful that I don't want these kids to think that relationships is just arguing or relationships is just being like moaning or aggravated or whatever. Like, there's love in relationships. So with every argument, let's do something. I love family outings. I love them. Anything that all of us can do together, I'm game. Even if it's just a walk to the park and back, I'm here for it. Because this is the moments the memories that we're making with our children. It's charity begins at home, as my mom will always say. Everything that you're doing in your house, your children will take and mold it and navigate their way. They're moving outside of the household. And my hope is that it's equally yoked. And you're able to stand up and defend yourself, but also you know how to show love, and you can receive, and you're in tune enough with your emotions to help somebody else, if that makes sense. I don't want to raise children that don't know how to act if somebody's crying, like, or feels a bit uncomfortable. You know, people say, I was really uncomfortable when she started crying. Why? It's a natural thing. People cry. It's a way of showing emotion. But as someone looking in, you should be able to say, are you okay? Like, do you need me to get you something? Or, oh, okay, like, do you know what I mean? Just things like that. So yeah, that made me very mindful. So now I'm a talker. We're gonna talk about it, no matter what the situation is. I had a conversation with Isaiah today about something that's happened, and I'm just like, how are you? Like, what happened? You tell me what happened. Then he told me what happened. I was like, okay. So what do you think about that? He said what he thought. I was like, okay, no problem. Well, you know, sometimes things happen, isn't it? But you know, you kind of just have to move on with life. And whatever I said, whatever. But he was like, yeah. But I was like, what were you doing when everything happened? He was like, I was just playing myself. I was like, where was Amara? She was doing what she was doing. I don't know. But this is exactly what he's saying to me. So I'm gauging from him that, okay, yeah, something has happened, but nothing
You're
to
not
do with
that bothered.
me.
Of course.
So at least I know that, all right, cool, it's not playing on his mind.
Exactly.
And how the tone in which he's talking to me is not, do you know what I mean? So there's like, talking for me, it helps. Like,
and I think everyone's thinking.
I was just gonna say, I think it's a good thing because I've lost it.
Oh,
I was really rooting for you.
Oh, it's gonna come back.
Okay, let me not lose my mind. No. So I think it's great that you speak to him. I think some parents, like you already said, feel it's an age thing. Like, they may feel some kids are too young to be saying, Mummy and Daddy had an argument. You wonder if the child was never thinking that. You're now bringing this lecture to the child. You're wondering, should I not? But this is why I was saying it depends on the child. Because some kids, you said he was what, 2.5? Like, some children at 2.5 pick up more than some other children at 2.5. Some other children at 2.5 will just happily just do their thing and not really care. So it's like, it's very dependent on how much your child's in touch with these things and how alert your child is to these things. And if you notice that your child is that kind of kid, then most definitely I think it's worth having a discussion, because it's just uncomfortable. I would not want a nursery teacher to be saying, it's just uncomfortable. It's sad. It's sad because you just think, was it playing on my child's mind? But at the same time, you just, like I said, by the time you cry, they can now think there's something going on.
There's more to it.
We really need to hone in on this family. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. And if you act too nonchalant, it's like there's no emotion. They didn't care that he was bothered. Do you know what I mean? So you just don't know where it could go. So it can be quite. It's almost like having a spy, not a spy, but having a child in the house. It can be quite. Do you know what I mean? You're almost on your toes all the time. I have a question, right? So you know how I think you may have mentioned that. As I might say, oh, say sorry to mummy say sorry to daddy. What's our views on that? Do we kind of like, would we say much? Wow. What? Would we say sorry? The reason why I ask is because some people feel that they don't want their child to feel like they're this dictator that will now be saying, you do this, you do that. But then do you involve your child or do you not involve your child? No. That's the question.
So, like I said, C will be very much like, who are you talking to? Mind your business. I'm like, okay, I don't look at it from that angle. I look at it like, actually, they're waiting for us to show them that this can be resolved. So, okay, let's just say sorry. Okay, sorry. But I don't look at it like you're telling me what to do.
But sorry to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, not to the child. To each other.
No, the child is telling you, Mummy, say sorry to Daddy. Daddy, say sorry to Mummy. You shouldn't have done that.
What do you do? Make me feel really guilty.
When they get involved.
After that one, I can oblige and be like, Daddy, sorry. Daddy, say sorry now. But if you're saying, but even when the child says, say sorry to me.
For what? For cleaning you? For bathing you? No, which one? Say for
example, like, I don't know, they haven't listened, so you've just hit their bum or something.
And it's
ow, say sorry. I'll just be
No, you
like,
don't got to say sorry. Though.
That's Ezekiel.
If you
You
don't-
have to say
you
sorry.
have to say sorry.
No, like I'm like to not. Yeah, like, basically, I say sorry wrong all the time, but it's accidents happen all the time. Like I could walk past, I could hit him by accident.
like,
Just things always happening. Even when he hurts with somebody, so nothing's doing me, I say
Yeah,
sorry.
you say
So
sorry.
now when I say ow, he runs, sorry, my
Yeah.
leg, just that.
Yeah.
So I don't want sorry to be too a word that's held too tightly. Do you understand? Like it's also an apology. As long as an apology can get you out of so many things. It's not that deep. Again, you know I told you that.
The thing I was going to say earlier that I forgot is that we need to be conscious about going and arguing around kids, because sometimes they think it's their fault. And that's why the talking is really important. Sometimes children feel like, especially when they're really young,
something to do with them.
yeah, especially that. But even
Yeah.
but even if it's nothing to do with them, if they're really young, just the way they've comprehended it, they may ask themselves, "Well, is it my fault? Is it something I did?" You know what I mean? And
That's really
sometimes
sad.
it's another thing. Yeah, it happens. It happens where children start feeling like, okay, mommy and daddy are arguing, or if it's constantly happening as well. It's like, okay, they're arguing all the time. Is it because of me? You know what I mean? Is it my fault? Is it something I can do? Or is there something that I can do to prevent it as well? They start feeling like,
That's why I was saying,
like, okay,
when a child
you
is telling
know,
you to say sorry, you know,
yeah.
you don't want them to feel like they become the agony aunt in the
Right,
house.
right.
2-year-old now always
Yeah.
have to be like, mommy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
how
they
are you
grow up-
feeling?
They grow up quicker than they should.
Yeah.
You should be a child. You shouldn't be trying to mend mommy and daddy all the time. And that's why I said, how do we deal with that? Because everything can balance, isn't it? Like, to some degree, like you said, your heart will kind of feel like, oh, I shouldn't really say sorry because this child has seen that I've shouted or something and I feel bad. So you say sorry. But in the same breath, you don't want them to be too sensitive that every time they hear a voice go up, they feel like they need to come and solve this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you find that
And
a
if
lot
they
of
can't
people-
solve it, which they can't because they're kids, isn't it?
Then they start
feeling like, oh.
A lot of people do feel like they carry the weight of their family from a very young
Yeah.
age. Do you know what I mean? And you won't know when it started.
Yeah.
So it is something to kind of be conscious about. But
Yeah.
when you mention the maths thing, because I think sometimes like, maybe not maths, it could be anything. Maybe like, if I think you should put the vest on before put the vest on.
Yeah.
When it's too cold outside, why wear his vest? No, it's hot outside, he doesn't need a vest. You know, like, things like that. For me, I wouldn't allow it to get into a back-to-back. So if I really believe that this vest is needed, but I can see that it's quite adamant that it's summer, I'm just going to pack that vest in that bag and believe in the car. I'm going to start doing that thing.
Yeah.
But only just so that it doesn't become a back and forth. Because like you said, if that then becomes back and forth, then of course they're going to be feeling like, it's because of me and my vest. Do you know what I mean? Why? Okay, but you know what I mean? Like, it's little things that make you feel like you're the one making them argue, essentially. But it's funny because a cousin of mine, like their parents, I don't know how they did it, literally the whole of their life. They're still obviously alive and thriving, but basically the parents will always go to their room. If they're going to argue, they always go. So they know when they're arguing, but they go to their room, to one corner. They've never seen or heard that their parents ever have even a tense discussion, if you want to call it that.
They've never heard
Is that
it.
good for them or not good? How
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for me, because I feel
I feel like
it's
even when parents think that children aren't listening, they can still hear you.
to be honest, I'm wondering if the cousin's going to watch it now. To be honest, I don't know. I feel like there's pros to it, but I do think that when it comes to saying sorry, it's more difficult for them because they've just not really
seen it
so freely. Do you know what I mean? So it takes a while. One more so than another, but it takes a while. But then I do think that your character has a big part to play as well. Do you know what I mean? Like some people, they're just naturally very sorry, you're right, and some people just hold on to anger a bit longer.
And then I'm also thinking the parents, there's a reason why they've done that. Maybe in their homes it was very tumultuous, a lot of arguing. So you say, no, I never want, because it's how we react. I don't want my kids to see people arguing. Let's just sort it out our own way. So every generation, you're just trying to do it a bit better than before.
But this is why you should never have a all black or all white way. Do you know what I mean? Because everything has its negatives. Like there's always some loophole of some sort that can bring an issue. Do you know what I mean? So as much as we mean well, I do think it's healthy for the children to know that, okay, people do argue, I'm going to argue with my friends. When they're arguing with their friends, they don't think it's a big deal because they think we'll make up. I've seen making up before, you know?
Okay, just going off what you said about your cousin, do you think that our children take on board our, I guess, love language, so to speak? So like you said, Roman, he's very touchy, he's very huggy, like, is physical touch one of your...
No, but it's Francis.
Okay,
Yeah.
so... do you think they've adopted his love language and that's what they've taken forward? Like, they're quite happy to hug people, they're happy to receive hugs, that's how they express their love?
Yeah, but you know, there's quite a few. I don't know. Like, physical touch is quite evident to see, isn't it? But like, my love language is acts of service. He's a bit young for him to be doing anything for me.
Yeah.
But maybe with time, we may develop that. That's the one I like. That's the one I want to see.
Acts of service, but like, okay.
What?
I can see the
keep
tire.
washing out my
I'll do the
That's the one I like.
What's your love language?
Can I tell you that May babies always have this love language?
She said nah.
Nah, let me just start there. And I just,
No, but you know, me and Sadiq have a lot of similarities.
They're like literally a day apart.
Yeah,
Why
we've
would
they are.
So I
May baby.
I forgot about the birthdays, you know.
yeah, it's literally a day.
What
So
were you
sometimes
doing?
it's like, he helps me know her, she helps me know him. Sometimes I just need to look at the manual of the time. Yeah. Okay, alright, yeah, makes sense. Because that acts of service, I'm physical touch, I'm time, I'm gifts. Yeah, like, me and Francis are a lot more similar.
What's your first physical touch? It is, because she'd be like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm taking pictures of you in my hand like this. Let's go.
That is me. I'm a very huggy. I'm a very huggy. I'll compliment you. That's just me. Like that's me. And I suppose that is probably the top. I don't want to say the others are far off because I love the gifts. I love it all. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'd say number one. Like, if you can't give me any gift or anything else, if you give me that physical touch and just affection and just like appreciation and stuff like that, I'd be happy.
What's your one? Pause.
Micaiah.
Yeah.
Micaiah, he is huggy, but he's not. Because all of you people know me. Should be a complaint already that I've touched you, I'm hugging somebody, I'm whatever. Sometimes I'm kind of no, mommy, I'll hug you later. He treats me the way you people treat me. So I don't know if it's because Sadiq's not like that, but I think Micaiah's quite balanced. Like he has his moments where he wants to sit with you and his moments where he just wants to be. So I see Sadiq, but I see myself in different sides. So when I say physical touch, I don't know, particularly because he's young as well. I feel like they're a lot more prone to, your legs are sorry, baby. He obviously wants all of that because he's young. But is it because he needs that physical touch as a love language? I don't know if I can say that just yet, to be honest.
Okay. My first would be words of affirmation and then physical touch. Not so much gifts and stuff, even though obviously who doesn't like gifts and but it's just not my first. Like, I feel like it's easy to buy a gift. Words of affirmation, like gestures that come from you, not just like, I don't know, write me something, text me something. I like it. My day when I'm at work, just text me, I love you, it's fine. I love it.
That's so cute.
I think words of affirmation definitely for Sienna. She likes that, and she gives it as well. Azariah the same. Who's it called? I don't know.
He's still so young.
But Abdul's definitely more acts of service. Another May baby.
I told you.
That's what I think. But
it is May babies. I know so many of them. Trust me. Go on, babe.
I don't think he will admit it though.
What's that, acts of service?
Yeah.
My one is 100% words of affirmation. Like, I like to be told, you're doing a good job, you're great. Oh, thank you. Like, as I'd be like,
Yeah.
And in turn, I think for him as well, it's very much words. If I say to him, you're fantastic, you are super. Hey, Mom, are you so proud of me? Yes, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Amara, I don't know, I don't know about that girl. I'm not too sure. We'll come back to her.
She's still younger. She's
You know
young.
what? If I think about Zeke, saying young, he will say, if I'm wearing like something different, Mummy, I like your shoe, I like your dress. You know, like same kind of words of affirmation.
But do you know, say what you want to say about Kiana, and then I'll say this.
With Kiana, I think she is. I think she's also a words of affirmation. You know, Kiana, like, I think she likes to be. Yeah, she definitely is. She needs to be. You know those kids that need to be reassured. Like, you're great. You're wonderful. You're doing a great job. Okay, you just need to do like. This is, you've got this. And then she's like, you know, I'm Bulgar. Like, that's Kiana. But I also think she's a gift girl, man. She'd be looking at them Jordans, looking at me like, bro.
Hello.
Literally.
But I wonder if, because thinking about it, now that you guys have said that, Micaiah is very big on words of affirmation. However, I wonder if, as parents, we all give our children words of affirmation. So that's why I don't know if I could say this is his love language as a person, or if it's just because we're building their character, so we're constantly, I'm always telling him he's amazing. Makai makes me blush 24/7. That guy's always like, Mummy, you look like a princess. I love your hair. Oh, Mummy, you look this. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been feeling like no one can chat for me. I look amazing. I look amazing. Text him and find out what he said this morning. Like, I feel good. Do you know what I mean? But I wonder if it's just I don't know if all of us have it because we've all built our children. Do you know what I mean? You're the first one to build your child, isn't the parents?
But like I've said before, we lay the foundation. So however they build on that, it's on them. So how they are now and what they receive as love and what they exude as love is not what they're going to be like in 10, 15 years time.
Yeah.
That can quickly change to gifts, receiving gifts, because one girl for them bought them one chain like this and now they're happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just lay the foundation. So, okay, we always speak words of affirmation into our children, and that is how we, I guess, amongst other things, we show love. We want them to be strong in who they are as a person. We lay that foundation, we send them off into the world, they build on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as long as that core is strong, and now whatever language they decide that they want to,
It's up to you. That's it.
It's wherever, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I just think like Micaiah, you guys know he's always in a flash suit. A red flash suit and blue Crocs. This is what I look at. In fact, I woke up the other morning, sorry, a bit off topic, and I was actually scared. Micaiah was going to get the marigold gloves and a Spider-Man. And I woke up, I just saw yellow stickers and a Spider-Man. I was like, nah, we need to get rid of these costumes. But outside of that, like, you know, when I'm just like, go on, super flash, Micaiah, the way he just feels.
The gas in his brain.
Yeah, but I feel like everyone likes to be gassed.
Yeah.
Like,
But some people don't like it, you know?
no, I don't think that's true. I think you may find it, you may be uncomfortable, but inside, it's still nice. It's just a bit maybe embarrassing, maybe if you do it in public, do you know what I mean? Some people don't know how to receive it. So I've not met a person that doesn't like a compliment. Do you know what I mean?
Like my niece,
I
she's
guess
not,
it's
she's
how.
not keen on it.
How exactly? It's more how.
She take the compliment or she doesn't like it?
She's not, you can't hype her up. You can say one small thing, oh, you look nice there, thank you. But if you start, woo, it's become something.
That's what I'm saying, so it's the how.
Yeah, so I guess
Everyone likes it, but it's the how. Some people don't like the whole dramatic, all attention on me. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people, you people know, saying, woo, I know, like, yeah, have main character energy, like, it's fun. But yeah, so, you know, it's interesting when it comes down to love languages, I don't know. But hopefully, guys, you guys have enjoyed that conversation. We would like to find out how you deal with conflict in front of your children, whether you do it in front of them or you don't. And also how much love you love in front of your kids. Where's the boundary? What's too much? What's okay?
you know what's too much though.
Yeah, but everyone's subjective though.
We know what's too much.
What do you think?
Sitting on laps, is that too much?
No.
We know what's too much.
No, you see, do you think that's too much?
What? In terms of giving
I think-
up? Guys, are you missing the boat here? I said we know what's too much.
No, okay, well, I'm asking you though, sitting on laps. Just answer the question, is it
All
too
I'm
much?
saying is we know what's too much.
No, what's going on? Ooh.
No, let's shoot the ending and let's go. Just
No, that's fine. Now let's cut this.
cut that bit.
Come at the light.
Start again, we said a lot today.
Baby, let's add the light. This is great.
Add one light.
All the lights are gone, not even one. Just please put one. It's bad.
Sorry, let me just get this place to you.
Yeah, let's just do that.
This is like we're recording in someone's closet. Look at this.
No, not like.
And you're in the
Yeah, come on. See, I've taken it off you. Just come put it up, please. Just come put it up. What is going on there?
What happened here though?
That one turned off.
Maybe it's not plugged in.
That one turned off a while ago,
It's not
though.
plugged in.
No, it
It's
is.
not
It's
switched
plugged in,
on.
I think it was on.
Oh, it's not switched on.
This is so funny.
Okay, let's wrap up. Alright. Before that one falls as well.
Jenny.
I don't even need my mic on me, I'm not talking.
Yeah.
No, just.
Oh, okay.
But you asked a question to Debbie. Let her answer.
No, it's
not good. Okay, alright. So I should just wrap
What
up.
I'm saying was, you're not going to be having sex in front of your kids. That's what we
We know about.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about laps.
Do you mind sitting on laps though?
But
See, that's what we're asking. Yeah,
So can we
answer.
continue that? Because that's actually interesting. 2 minutes, it's alright. Just ask the question.
Where do we start from?
Just say the laps.
What about that?
Okay, but do you mind sitting on laps?
Yeah, I'm not. Alright, cool. My daughter can sit on her auntie's lap.
No. Can you sit on someone's lap?
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, forget this guy.
No.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna daddy.
Yeah.
Will you sit on his lap?
Yeah. it out. Let's cut this off. Can you just say
No, I'm actually enjoying this part. Why are you doing this? No, it was going fine. Cut it. Listen. Cut it. Kilo there. What's the problem? Hey, Ada. Just let's cut this. Let's cut it. Jeez.
This is bad.
This is another fuzzy part. Yeah, this is bloopers, 100%. They need to see her shouting, cut it. She's in my ear. Cut it. So, are you okay with laps?
I'll sit on his lap, yeah.
I don't think I'll sit on Salik's lap in front of Micaiah.
Why?
Because I don't want him to feel like a girl. Anyone should be sitting on his lap.
What are you doing?
Are you alright?
I know. I just wouldn't. Maybe I'm OTT, but I just because if I walk in and I don't know, I don't want to risk seeing things I don't want to see.
No, let me say something. I always love doing it. Let me give you an example.
What?
I have friends, and I think they're watching it. They're in watch, right? So they went to marriage counselling.
Yeah.
And they went like, do you understand? And then the pastor was like, you know what? We've got one final topic to cover, but I'll save it till a week before you get married because I don't want you to get tempted. Is it only now that we're going to talk about sex? Like, people haven't been learning about sex since they were 9 years old. That's what I'm trying to do to my friend. It's all that.
No, it's not. It's just like, I just feel he's very innocent, right? The only way I'll do it is if all of us, he should be sitting on me, everybody's sitting together. Otherwise, it feels like a sitting romantic kind of thing. Yeah, it has to be a game. I can't sit and just be sitting and what?
But in terms of like, for example, say like there's no seats available and like I want to sit down. I'm gonna go and sit on his lap. What's the problem?
So I'm in a party or I'm in an environment where there's no seats.
In a family, like say we're all chilling, like everyone's sitting down. There's nowhere to sit. Okay, let me go and sit on his lap. I'm not gonna be sitting there like.
But that's what we're talking about. Is that what we're talking about?
No, just general sitting.
Not giving a wicked vibe.
No wicked vibe.
Why lap dance like this? That's what she wants to do.
Guys, thank you for listening.
This is somebody.
Thank you for listening.
Right into her heart, guys. In her head.
Sorry, jollof rice in her heart is nothing like sitting on the husband's lap.
You want to whine. It's the same thing.
What's going on here?
That's why it's in your head. You can't help it. Let me just. No temptation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was absolutely amazing having you today. I hope you've enjoyed this interesting video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That's bye from us, guys.
Bye.